So the Galaxy Note 9 has finally been released in 15,000 V-Bucks for free, included with the pre-order? Well, sign me up, I'm ready. This is the best phone of the year. No, aside from all of the exclusive Fortnite-ness that you get now with a suite of Samsung phones, not just the Note 9, that'll be available for everyone later. The Note 9 is something that I think a lot of YouTubers like to hype up and be impressed with all of the new features and all of the new spec bumps, and then a month goes by and everyone's like, oh wait, what? That was a phone, I guess. Yeah, that came out. I never see excitement for the Note phones last more than 30 days because, for one, they always come out right before the new iPhone, then everyone switches to that, and then a month after the iPhone, everyone switches to the Pixel, and then that becomes the go-to Android, and everyone forgets about all the features of the Note phone. So what do we got that's new this time? That we didn't expect? Well, I guess you can take a picture with the S Pen if your phone's from far away, kind of like Apple does with the Apple Watch thing, which is neat. And yeah, all right, okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, of course, we got our Snapdragon 845. You got your same size 6.4-inch display. S Pen, of course, included with the phone. And if you're out there and you believe that smartphones should include a stylus, should include fast charging in the box, should include the headphone jack, and should not have a notch, you're in luck because this $1,000 phone has you covered. Yes, you don't have to remind me. The iPhone X is also $1,000, but the reason I think that's okay is because of the exclusives. That's what brings people to other phones, is the fact that it has something that no one else has. iOS brings a large assortment of exclusive features that I think justifies that higher price point, whether it be iMessage, AirDrop, Apple Watch support, AirPods support, and most likely 5 to 6 years of software updates, whereas the Note 9 is shipping and launching with not even the latest version of Android, and it's probably going to get 2 years of support, and then security updates from then on out. I personally kind of feel that the Note 9 is overshadowed by the affordableness of the S9, given the differences between the two phones. The 4,000 milliamp hour battery is impressive with the Note 9, though I would still remain skeptical with large batteries in Note phones. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, but for sure that is an impressive battery. But comparing it to the S9, the features you're getting for that extra $200 to $400 is 0.1-inch larger display, less curves, I guess, and a pen. So it's great that they include that pen because you are really paying for that pen. Almost everything internally is matched to that of the S9, of course, without the 512 gigabyte storage option, which, yes, is fairly impressive to see on a smartphone, but it by no means is a steal or a deal. You are paying for those extra specs at $1,250 to get that half terabyte. And the confusion I have is, if 128 gigs isn't enough for you, just get the expandable storage. Why pay extra for 512 if you can just expand it on the base model anyway? But my confusion comes from the point of view of why people are impressed when a phone raises its price and then has more features. It's like, did you know that if you pay more for a device, it can have more stuff in it? Well, yeah, of course it does. I would hope so. I think the storage option was the primary way they could ship the whole "this is now more expensive than before." I think most people out there found the Note 8 fairly expensive for an Android device, given a lot of software is still shared with other Android phones that makes not a lot of the software features that the Note 8 or Note 9 had exclusives. You have that same app store on a OnePlus 6, which is now half the price of a Note 9, and that's the cheapest one. And that can keep your fast charging, that can keep your headphone jack. Sorry, it has a notch. I guess that's bad, but most people don't care, given OnePlus 6 is outselling S9 in several countries, and not even to mention the iPhone X. We're just talking about Android here. I think there's plenty of other Android alternatives, including the S9 itself, that make the Note 9 kind of silly. This is definitely an S upgrade. This is definitely a look of, here's what the Note 8 should have been. They throw in that variable aperture that changed, but in my experience with the S9, it did not affect low light photography that much. Low light on a smartphone camera is still not ideal. Even if the camera is a little bit better at it, the pictures are still going to look fairly fuzzy and blurry, and I don't think it's worth paying an extra $200 to $400 just to get that S Pen and just to get that 512 gigabyte option, especially when Samsung stop your recording at 5 minutes at 4K at 60, whereas an iPhone, you can just record as long as you want. Also, not to mention that when it comes to Geekbench scores, the Snapdragon 845 is still slower than the Apple A11 chip, and even if it is faster, and even if you want to bring up, well, the Snapdragon chip can stay fast longer, you are still comparing it to a chip that came out a year ago on the iPhone 8. That's what you're comparing your CPU to. The Note 9 is not primarily competing with the iPhone 8 and 10, it will be competing with with the A12 chip on the iPhone 10 and 10 Plus, and probably the iPhone 9, with the exception of the 10 Plus being cheaper than the Note 9. It's rumored that the 5.8-inch new version of the iPhone 10 or iPhone Pro or whatever you want to call it, that will start at $900. That cheaper phone, while it may not include a stylus or 512 gigs of storage, it will be a lot cheaper and likely will have both graphical, multi-core, and single-core scores much higher than that of a Note 9. But you got me beat. It doesn't come with a bright yellow stylus, so sorry to hear that. All of my complaints I had with the S9 between there being 3 different forms of unlocking the device and none of them really being perfected or as consistent as I have had Face ID be for me, all of those carry over here. That didn't change very much. And based on Jonathan Morrison's unboxing video, it still seems that those Note phones have that microphone problem that not a lot of people talk about. Back when I had the Galaxy Note 7, I tried vlogging on it, and the microphone sounds noticeably worse when you're filming with the rear-facing camera, so they had to use an iPhone 10 as their external microphone to get the sound actually working correctly. When you're recording video that's away from you, the microphone is more focused on the person recording the video, not the thing in front of the phone, so I probably won't be buying the Note 9, but it's funny that they still have that problem. But to clarify all of this, if you're excited for the Note 9, if it has the features you appreciate, I hope you guys can remember, I respect that. I'm happy for you. I'm happy there's an option out there that satisfies all your needs, and even if you're okay with paying $1,250 for a phone that has all those great features that are important to you, that's great. I'm happy for you. It's not the phone for me, but if it is for you, I mean no disrespect, and I don't think you're an idiot for liking that type of phone. You're a perfectly reasonable human being, and if you can afford it, you deserve to treat yourself and buy the phone that best suits your needs. You know who doesn't respect you for buying a phone that best suits your needs? Samsung. Dropping once again more ingenious ads on a person who walks into a store and says, "Does the iPhone come with a stylus?" as everyone asks. Or bringing up that the Note 9 is more powerful even though its CPU is clocked lower than that of an iPhone's, and in fact clocked lower than a OnePlus 6, a phone half the price with the same CPU. I hope Unbox Therapy brings this up in his video because he had problems with the iPhone 10, given it costs $1,000. It should be double the phone that the OnePlus 6 is, and it wasn't. So is the Note 9 double of everything you get with a OnePlus 6? Also, no one's bringing up that the flagship lineup of Galaxy phones now universally cost more than the flagship iPhones this year, which is funny because 2018 is the year Apple decides to go cheaper. 2018 for Samsung is the year they decide to go more expensive. S9 starting at $730, S9 Plus starting at $840, more expensive than the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, Apple's flagships this year, and the Note 9 matching the starting price of the iPhone 10 at $1,000, and if you want to configure higher, the Note 9 is $1,250, whereas the iPhone 10's 256 gig is $1,150, meaning that overall, Galaxy phones are now more pricey. We're living in a world where someone might say, I think I'm gonna buy an iPhone. Why not a Galaxy phone? Well, the iPhones are cheaper, so I gotta go Apple. What world are we living in, people? Now the iPhones are the cheaper option? And this year, that's gonna get even better because the iPhone 8s are gonna reduce their price. Apple's working on 2 iPhones this year that are expected to be under that $1,000 price point of the 10, yet still equipping Face ID, the gesture controls, and hopefully with that iPhone 9, a lot more color options than what Samsung's offering, and not forcing yellow styluses on you. And oh boy, you know what? I don't even think I can fit my thoughts on the Galaxy Watch and the Galaxy Home speaker, but what are they thinking? That'll be for a different video. But in regards to the Note 9, there's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's impressive that they're able to fit so many features in a phone, but you are definitely paying for it. $1,250 for 512 gigs? I mean, what apps on the Play Store take up that much space? You don't have as many games as the iOS App Store. The camera caps your recording times. Are you really gonna fill up that 512? And the Samsung fanboys that I know are in the comments section, I want you guys to remember your comments whenever Apple has incremental upgrades. We literally had people commenting things like, this is the most refined Note that we've ever had. You sound just like the people who make fun of Apple who say, this is the best iPhone we've ever made. Well, of course it is. Now you're just as bad with Samsung. This is the best Note phone that's ever made. Well, you got me there. They've improved quite a bit from the Note 7. At least we hope so. Try to remember I do respect you. I am okay with you if you like the Note. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just confused by it. I don't think it needs to be there. And this is most likely the last Galaxy Note product to ever come out. Are you gonna buy the Note 9 and why? Let me know in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.